Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 6. We'll be presenting about the water tank design. But first, I would like to introduce our group members. The first one is our group leader, Nur ASYIKIN binti Muhammad Azahari. And then our first member, Muhammad SYUKRI bin Jalal. Our second member, Ahmad Nur SOLIHIN bin SILAHUDIN. And myself, Muhammad Afiq bin Hamsan. We will continue for the introduction.
Assalamualaikum, Tajahau, Ya Pribadikum. I'm Solihin with number DF20057. Today I want to elaborate about the water tank. A water tank design is a system of transport of water flows over tubes in a pattern designed to move the water from one end to another. All tanks are planned as break-free construction to dispense with any spillage. We choose concrete symmetrical tank in this report because it's widely used to store water and will apply for drinking water, irrigation, fire suppression, food preparation, and many more. Okay, for the method of design, we refer IS 3370 about the design of tank. There are 6 points as their characteristic, which is number 1 is round and hollow water tank. Second is wall of cylinder tanks. It is chosen to avoid bending moment in the walls. The walls are designed with the assumption that no fracture will form. Third is the spherical dome as the rooftop. The idea of dome are used to avoid the opportunity of insightful breaking, the unexpected loading, and the water tightness. 4 is the minimum reinforcement, which the best support in dividers, floors, and rooftop in every one of two bearings at the right point will have a space of 0.3%. More, the tank resting on the ground. It is because to make the roundabout tanks may have adaptable joint or unbending joint at the base. Lastly, the circular tank with flexible joint in the base, because it is planned as the ring chamber. So the ring be assumed freely connected to the cylinder wall of the tank will help off the shear key. Thank you.
So hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur ASYIKIN binti Muhammad Azahari and I will continue present about the alternative method. Okay, so next is the method of design. Method of design for cylindrical water tank is an intensive report through both the retentions of IS 3370 uncovers 4 techniques for plants. Okay, so the first one is working pressure technique in understanding IS 3370 in 1965. Okay, so the second one is same but in the year of 2009. Okay, so the third one is cut-off step techniques and afterwards checking breaking widths by limit condition of workableness IS 3370 in 2009. And the fourth one is cut-off step plan technique by restricting steel stresses in understanding IS 3370 in 2009. Okay, so next I will explain about the sum of the factors to design the cylindrical water tank. Okay, so the first one is walls of cylindrical tank. Okay, some of the information we should consider while designing cylindrical water tank, such as the walls of round and hollow tanks. Okay, this is either projected solidly with the base and are set knots and keyways. Okay, so the second one is the vertical supports like the dividers were totally fixed at the base of the cylindrical water tank. Okay, so the second one is the rooftop for cylindrical water tank. Some of the things that we should consider for design the rooftop for cylindrical water tank is the idea of domes, the provision of movement joints, the loading, and also the water tightness. Okay, so the third one is minimum reinforcement. Okay, minimum reinforcement acts as the best supports dividers, floor, and rooftops in every one of two bearings. Okay, so the floor section might be built with the level of the supports. Okay, so next is the tank resisting on the ground. As you can see in the picture, the cylindrical tank was built on the ground base. Okay, and for the last one is cylindrical tanks with flexible joint at the base. As you can see in the picture also, there is joint between the surface and the water tank. Okay, so next, let's more focus on calculating for designing cylindrical water tank. Okay, so we took the example to design a round tank with adaptable base for limit of 500,000 liters and the depth is 4 meter and it is furnished with free bolts of 20 centimeters. Okay, so the first steps is to find the D value. Substitute all the informations in the formulas and max D is a subject. Okay, so calculate the rest and we get 12.95 meter, which is we can round off to 13 meter of diameter. Okay, so the second step is to compute maximum hook tension. Okay, so by using the equation of WHD divided by 4, and we get the value of 26,000 kilogram. Okay, so the third step is to find the area of steel required. Okay, so this area is get by dividing the maximum hoop tensions with 1000, and we get 26 cm square. Okay, so the fourth step is to collect and provide all the informations, which is we provide 16 mm diameter bars at 7 cm centers. So the AT is 28.73 cm square, and we use mix M200, which is the allowable stress in tension is 12 kg per meter square. Okay, so for the next step is to find the thickness of cylindrical wall by substitute all the information in the formula that are informed in the reports, and we get the value of 25.118. Okay, so the value we can round off to 26 cm of the thickness. Okay, so the last step is to find percentage of vertical reinforcement. Okay, so hoop reinforcement will be provided on both faces. 16 mm diameters bars at 14 cm centers are provided on each faces. So the vertical reinforcement will be 0.26%.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad SYUKRI bin Jalal, and I'll be present about background study. So basically in background study, I'll explain about two things, which is design code used to build water tank and also the parameter of cylindrical water tank. First, for design code, there are few processes need to be done before a building is completely constructed. And we'll use many types of materials such as steel, cement, reinforcement, and more. So, when it is come to variety types of materials, there are few standards need to be taken into account, like size, length, diameter, and also resistance to fire. Then, there are few types of standards like British standard and also Indian standard. But for this design, we will use IS 3370. During past time, construction of water tank was done by using IS 3370 1965. But then, this code have been revised and have some improvement in terms of checking crack width and renamed as IS 3370 2009. And then, as we can see here, this is the example of the requirement of concrete from IS 3370 1965. And there are four methods of design, which is working stress method referring to IS 3370 1965 and 2009, limit state design of method by limiting stress in steel referring IS 3370 2009, and also limit state method and width of cracking by limit state of serviceability IS 3370 2009. Next, I will explain about the parameter of cylindrical water tank. So basically, cylindrical water tank is made up of few components, which is piling and support of water tank, circular beam, top dome, ring beam, reinforced concrete wall, bottom ring beam, conical dome, and bottom dome. And at the base of the cylindrical water tank have been used pile, and for our example, rough pile have been used. And as we can see here, this is the example of the diagram of the parameter of cylindrical water tank. The components and also the sizing and also the parameter of each of the components also have been stated in the diagram. And then we also can see this is the table of each of the components, and also the sizing and also the description of each of the components of the cylindrical water tank. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Afiq bin Hamsan, and I'm gonna present about conclusion and recommendation. There are four conclusions. The first one is, in today's world, water storage becoming increasingly important in the form of tanks for drinking and washing, swimming pools, and sewage sedimentation tank. Number two, water tank design is a time-consuming process. The designs of an underground water tank, in particular, necessitates a large number of mathematical formula and calculations. The results of the analysis revealed that the water level change in the tank play a significant influence in tank's sudden stress change. The quantity and location of piles had a significant impact on the water tank dynamic behavior. Next, for the recommendation, the first one is rectangular water tanks are suggested for smaller capacities, whereas circular water tanks are ideal for larger capacities. The design in the study is recommended for storage tank, silos, spherical storage tank, flat bottom, cylindrical above ground storage tanks, and underground storage tank with a focus on seismic design. And number 3, designers are recommended to take the earthquake effect and blast ground motion into consideration in the design of such structure. And the last one is the designer is recommended to not provide less than the values we get from the program if the designer use the program. Thank you. That's all from us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.